Women don't care about what you do for them. They only want 10 things from men. Old Stoic Wisdom. To love and be loved is to feel the sun from both sides. David Viscott. Let's cut to the chase. You've likely been taught that the way to a woman's heart is through grand gestures. Take her out. Spoil her with gifts. Always be there when she calls. Make her feel special. Sounds like a foolproof plan, doesn't it? But here's the truth. This approach doesn't always work, and it's not what truly keeps her interested. You can give her everything, lavish dates, material gifts, endless attention, and still find yourself alone. Why does this happen? Because what you do for her isn't nearly as significant as who you are to her. Women don't keep a scorecard of your efforts. They're not evaluating each kind gesture you make or checking off your to-do list. What matters to them is much deeper and far more instinctive. It's about how you make her feel. Do you inspire respect? Do you exude trustworthiness? Do you carry yourself in a way that draws her in naturally? Most men focus on the surface, gifts, trips, constant texts. But here's the truth. Women care far less about the external acts than the inner qualities you bring to the table. When you understand these core attributes, you'll stop overexerting yourself to win her affection and start embodying the kind of man who naturally commands her respect and loyalty. After years of observing relationships, I've narrowed it down to a few key things that women truly want from a man. Get these right, and the rest will fall into place. Miss the mark, and no amount of effort will make a difference. Let's dive into what truly matters. Number 1. Why doing more for her doesn't mean she'll want you more. So many men fall into the same trap. They meet a woman, things are going well, and they think the best way to secure her is by showering her with everything she could ever want. They bombard her with texts, offer rides to work, buy thoughtful surprises and arrange fancy dinners. It's as if they believe that the more they do for her, the more she'll be drawn to them, and they'll lock her in. But here's the harsh reality: the more you give, the less she may want you. It's baffling, right? You're doing everything to show her your value, but instead of her leaning in, she starts pulling away. Your texts go unanswered for longer. She's too busy to make plans, and the connection you thought was so strong starts to feel like it's slipping through your fingers. This is where the old Stoic wisdom comes into play. Doing more doesn't always equal more attraction. In fact, it can do the opposite. You see, when a woman sees you constantly bending over backward for her, something inside her shifts. She begins to feel like she's the prize, and you're just the guy desperately chasing her approval. As soon as she senses that you're trying to win her instead of just being yourself, her respect starts to fade. It's a subtle shift, but it's powerful. The law of attraction is built on challenge, mystery, and respect. When you give everything away too soon, you destroy all of that. Let's flip the script. Imagine this scenario: you meet a woman who does everything for you from the get-go. Cooking, cleaning, paying for things, rearranging her entire schedule for you. At first, it feels like a dream. But over time, you'd probably start questioning her motives. Why is she doing so much? Does she genuinely value herself? Or is she just terrified of losing you? You'd eventually grow suspicious, wouldn't you? Men feel the same way when women overextend themselves. It's not attractive. Women aren't interested in men who are desperate to please them. They want men who have their own lives, who respect themselves, and who don't bend to the whims of anyone. The truth is, attraction doesn't come from your ability to do more for her. It's rooted in your presence, your confidence, your direction in life. Women are drawn to men who have an iron mind, who stand firm in their purpose, and don't get swayed by every little thing she wants. You must understand that a woman will appreciate your gifts, but they won't make her stay if the core foundation of your relationship isn't built on something deeper: genuine attraction, respect, and shared values. You could buy her the most luxurious gifts or plan the dream vacation, but if you lack the Stoic principles of self-respect and confidence, another guy who offers nothing material might steal her heart just by being strong in himself. What you need to realize is that giving to her should never be the foundation of your connection. It should be an addition, something that enhances the relationship but doesn't define it. She must feel your strength and your sense of purpose first, long before she feels the weight of your wallet or sees the number of favors you've done. This is the key. Stop chasing approval. Start living your life with a strong sense of direction and watch her become more drawn to you. Because at the end of the day, it's not what you do for her that will make her stay. It's who you are, rooted in the power of your own life and values, that will make her respect you and keep her invested. Number 2, the power of presence. You've felt it before. That moment when a man walks into a room and without saying a word, everyone seems to notice him. It's not because he's the loudest, the flashiest, or the most entertaining. He doesn't have to dominate the conversation, wear the sharpest suit, or tell the best jokes. No, it's something deeper, something you can't quite put your finger on. It's presence. And let me tell you, my friend, presence is the one thing that women find magnetic, something that even the most impressive accolades can't replace. Presence isn't just about what you say. It's what you don't say. It's the unspoken energy that fills the room when you walk in. This is the essence of Stoic rules to master your inner world, to find control over your emotions, your actions, and your thoughts. When you're fully in control of yourself, you'll notice that people, especially women, are drawn to you, not because of your performance, but because of your being. You must understand that true power comes from being grounded, centered, and present in the moment, not chasing after the next thing. Remember, a woman feels you before she even sees you. Think about the last time you walked into a room and felt the attention shift. It wasn't because you were trying to impress anyone. In fact, you were probably doing nothing more than existing in that moment, fully aware of the space you were taking up. That's the magic of presence. Presence comes from living a life you control, not one you're scrambling to keep up with. Contrast that to the man who walks in and immediately starts to fidget. His eyes dart nervously. He's unsure where to put his hands or how to fill the silence. He laughs too quickly, overcompensates in an effort to be liked. That's not presence. He's trying too hard. And the world senses that women, especially, have a sixth sense for these things. They feel it in the way you move, the way you speak, and even the way you breathe. Presence is about living in the moment. A man with presence isn't seeking approval. He doesn't need to chase validation. He's already aware of his value, and that alone commands respect. It doesn't matter if a woman is interested in him or not. A man with presence knows that his worth isn't defined by anyone's opinion of him, and that confidence comes from deep within. You must recognize your own worth. That's the foundation of practical stoicism, being unshaken by the external world. Imagine this. You're with a woman, and the moment a man with presence enters the room, her attention subtly shifts. She doesn't even realize it, but her body language changes. She straightens up, her eyes follow him, and her curiosity is piqued. Why? Because presence isn't about performance or spectacle. It's about creating a space where someone feels safe, intrigued, and respected without you having to try. And that's rare in today's world where everyone is glued to their phones, desperate for attention, or scrambling to prove their worth. When you're truly present, you listen better. You speak with authority. You make people feel seen. Women are drawn to that. Why? Because it signals something incredibly powerful: strength, focus, and confidence. These aren't just attractive traits. They are deeply rooted in the ancient paths of wisdom that the Stoics taught. When you're focused and grounded, you stop seeking validation, and instead, you begin to give it. When you choose to give someone your full attention, it's a gift that no one can ignore. Don't confuse presence with acting tough or being distant. That's not it. Presence is about living intentionally. It's knowing that every moment matters, and that your value doesn't depend on external validation. A man with presence doesn't try to be anything he's not. He simply is. He moves through life with intention, not on autopilot. You must move through life intentionally, mentally, physically, and emotionally. Let's be real, presence can't be faked. It's something you build from within. It comes from consistently practicing self-care, from staying grounded in your values, and from pursuing a life that aligns with your purpose. It comes from living by the Stoic rules, from creating inner peace, and from not allowing external noise to steal your focus. When you own your space, when you are truly present, you'll notice that women will feel you long before they see you, and that connection, you can't buy it, manipulate it, or fake it. It's a bond forged through self-assurance, self-control, and an unshakable belief in who you are. So take a step back, take a deep breath, and focus on building the life you want, not the one you're running from. That's when your presence will truly shine, and that's when you'll begin to see the difference it makes. Number 3, lead without permission. In today's world, the modern man must understand that leadership is not a mere suggestion, it's a necessity. Women don't care about what you do for them, they care about your ability to lead. You must take the reins, not ask for permission. Women crave masculine direction, not dominance, not control, but direction. This biological and psychological instinct is ingrained. They want to feel your leadership, your certainty, and your ability to navigate life's complexities with unwavering clarity. It's about embodying the essence of Stoic strength, the power of decisive action. Think of Epictetus's wisdom. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. This is true leadership. It's not about asking every step of the way. It's about stepping up. Let's take Michael, for example. At 42, divorced, and dating a strong, independent 31-year-old named Kayla. He initially made the classic mistake. He asked, "Where do you want to eat? What do you feel like doing?" His intentions were respectful, but the vibe was off. He was waiting for her to lead, to guide him, and as she later admitted, "He's sweet, but he kind of waits for me to lead. It's not attractive." What happened? He lacked masculine direction. He lacked clarity, but then Michael changed. On their third date, he took control. He didn't ask for permission. He simply told her, "Be ready at 7. Dress sharp. I've got a plan." The transformation was instant. Kayla leaned in. That's leadership. It doesn't mean disregarding her wants or preferences. It means embodying Stoic certainty. When you lead, you take the responsibility. You don't ask for validation. You create it. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. That's it. Stop overthinking. Stop hesitating. Be the man who makes decisions. Women want to feel the safety of your certainty, the security of your direction. It's not about domination. It's about creating balance. You must lead with calm confidence, knowing that this is what women instinctively respect. Indecision kills attraction. Women are strong and independent. Yes, but they don't want to be the ones constantly steering the emotional wheel of the relationship. That's exhausting. What they need is a man they can trust to lead them forward. Leadership creates sexual polarity. When you lead, you ignite intimacy. She can then relax into your energy and trust your direction. Think of it like a dance. If both try to lead, the rhythm breaks down. But when the man leads with clarity, the woman can shine. This is the essence of Epictetus's Stoic teachings. Clarity and control, not for the sake of power, but for creating a harmonious, balanced dynamic. Don't be afraid to lead. Don't ask for permission. Take charge and watch how the dynamic shifts. Lead without hesitation and become the man she respects. This is how you win in life, in love, and in leadership. Number 4, ambition is foreplay. Let's cut to the chase if you're a man over 35 and you've stopped chasing something greater than the grind of daily life. It shows. Women pick up on it. They don't say it out loud, but deep down, they sense when you've stopped reaching for more, when you've given up on growing, when you're just going through the motions. And what does that do to attraction? It kills it. Not because she's shallow, but because feminine energy is drawn to a man who's on a mission, a man who's evolving, not one who's stagnating. Your ambition isn't just about your career, your money, or your business. It's the fire inside you. It's the drive to become more, to push beyond your limits, to grow your mind, your body, and your world. It's that hunger to say, I'm not done yet. And that's what draws her in. Ambition is foreplay, psychologically, emotionally, and yes, even sexually. When you're always evolving, when you're relentlessly sharpening your mind and honing your skills, there's an energy about you that's magnetic. She knows she can't figure you out completely, and that's exciting. It's that mystery, that drive to keep climbing higher that keeps the spark alive. But when you hit pause on your purpose, when you sink into comfort and stop pushing forward, that's when the energy fades. Not because she's being malicious, but because the polarity that creates attraction starts to fade. This is why the old Stoic wisdom of men like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus resonates so powerfully today. These men understood the power of inner strength and responsibility, and they knew the key to a fulfilling life was constant growth. Marcus Aurelius, while ruling an empire, never spoke of retirement. He was still fighting wars, writing meditations, and striving for self-mastery. Epictetus taught that a man who masters himself is in harmony with nature, and nature is never static, it's always in motion. As Epictetus famously said, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. That's the test. If you can't answer the question, what kind of man do I want to become? Then don't expect anyone, especially a woman, to be inspired by your life. Ambition isn't loud. It's not about flashing your plans or bragging about what you're going to do. It's the quiet discipline of becoming, the dedication to growth. That's why women aren't obsessed with what you have right now. They're drawn to the energy of a man who's building, who's actively working on himself, because that energy is alive. It's full of possibility, of potential. And that is sexy. No car, no title, no material possession can compare to the energy of a man who's constantly pushing his boundaries and expanding his horizons. Here's the hard truth too many men miss. They chase women more than they chase excellence. And ironically, that's the very thing that turns women off. She doesn't want to be the focal point of your life. She wants to be a part of a life that's already exciting, already on fire, already going somewhere, with or without her. So, if you're feeling like things have gone flat, if you've noticed a shift in her energy, or if you've tried to spice things up in other ways, ask yourself, what am I chasing that makes me magnetic? What am I striving for that will make me impossible to forget if you have no answer? It's time to wake up. A man without a mission becomes stagnant, and a stagnant man is forgettable. The fire she's seeking isn't in your compliments or gifts. It's in your drive, in your ambition to keep becoming more. That's what holds her attention. That's what makes her admire you. That's what keeps the flame burning. So, don't just flirt with her. Flirt with your potential. Ignite that ambition, turn it back on, and watch how everything shifts. Because a man with an iron mind, one rooted in the Stoic principles of growth and self-mastery, will always be magnetic to those around him. Keep your ambition alive, because that's the secret to keeping her interested and keeping your life exciting. If you found this valuable, comment below and share it with someone who could benefit. Don't forget to subscribe for more wisdom. Comment below to remember I am a man with purpose, ambition, and direction. Let that energy guide you and keep your momentum alive. Number 5. Master your emotions. There's a reason why emotional control is one of the most attractive traits a man can have, especially to women. In today's world, everyone is pulled in 1,000 different directions, and most men react instead of responding. They explode, they chase, they panic when things don't go their way. But you, my friend, are different, or at least, you must be. Let me tell you about Matt. He's 47, divorced, and runs his own construction business in Arizona. Recently, he started dating Rachel, a 34-year-old yoga instructor who was drawn to his maturity and steady energy. In the beginning, everything was smooth, but then, out of the blue, came a test. Rachel cancelled plans last minute, twice. Old Matt, the younger version of himself, would have reacted. He might have called her out, acted cold, or even sent a guilt-tripped text. But this time, he paused. He didn't react. He observed that small act of emotional control. It was the moment she saw him differently. She saw him with more respect and curiosity. Why? Because he wasn't desperate. He wasn't trying to prove anything. He was grounded. And this, gentlemen, is what so many men miss. Women don't just watch what you do. They observe how you respond. When you let yourself get triggered, when you act emotionally, especially when it involves her attention, her mood, or her silence, you're showing her that you can't handle pressure. You become predictable, weak, and, most damaging of all, easy to manipulate. But when you master your emotions, you hold power. You create tension. You become magnetic. This is the essence of Stoic rules in action. You don't let outside events dictate your reactions. You're not a slave to your feelings. Instead, you use them wisely. As Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. This is practical Stoicism in its purest form. You don't pretend you don't feel anything. That's not the point. It's about not letting those feelings control your actions. When you maintain that calm, when you stay still, even under pressure, it doesn't just feel strong. It is strong. Women sense it. When they see that you are unshaken, even when they test you, even when they throw in silence, mood swings, or passive-aggressive texts, they experience something they rarely get from men's safety, respect, and, yes, desire. Emotional mastery is not coldness. It's clarity. It's the ability to make her feel things without reacting to every little wave she sends your way. This is the path of wisdom that men have walked for centuries. It's about mastering the tension, not being controlled by it. And let me be clear, this is something you must learn to do if you want to thrive in the world of relationships. You must rise above your impulses. Don't let the chaos of emotions throw you off your course. The best part. As you walk this path of wisdom, you'll see the shift in the way women see you. No longer will you be the man who reacts, who chases, who is constantly at the mercy of his emotions. Instead, you will be the man who is composed, who knows himself, and who has the emotional resilience to handle whatever life throws at him. Be the man who controls his emotions, and you will control the room. Number 6. Masculine energy is magnetic. Let's cut through the distractions and get straight to the core truth. Women don't care about what you do for them. They care about who you are. Masculine energy is magnetic, but it isn't about being loud, aggressive, or constantly performing. It's about presence, direction, and a deep, silent confidence that comes from knowing exactly who you are. Women feel this energy before you even speak. It's not about trying to convince anyone of your strength. It's about radiating a grounded, purposeful confidence. The more you try to force it, the more you dilute it. True masculinity is calm, controlled, and rooted in a sense of purpose, not performance. When you walk into a room exuding that type of energy, women notice, even if they don't show it. You may not hear it, but they feel the difference. Here's where most men go wrong. They chase, they accommodate, they apologize for simply being a man. And in doing so, they drain the natural tension and polarity that makes attraction possible. What they don't realize is that when they abandon their masculine energy, they become invisible. There's no tension, no excitement, and most importantly, no attraction. It's safe, nice, and comfortable, but not magnetic. You must own your masculine energy fully, or else it owns you. Stoicism offers you the answer to mastering this. As Epictetus said, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. This is the essence of masculine energy. It's not about reacting to others or begging for approval. It's about leading with quiet, unshakable conviction. Stoicism teaches you to hold your ground under pressure, to remain calm and centered, regardless of external chaos. Women aren't seeking to be dominated. They're looking to feel if you can hold your ground and maintain that center. If you buckle under pressure, if you chase, defend, or explain, you lose your masculine frame. But when you remain poised, when you stand with quiet certainty, you shift the entire dynamic. Women lean in because they feel the weight of your presence, the gravity of your energy. That's the essence of attraction. It's not something you perform, but something you return to, something that emerges when you strip away the noise and distractions of seeking validation. As a Stoic man, you move with purpose. Your words are few, but they carry weight because they're chosen carefully. Women sense this energy. They can feel it, even when you say nothing. And that's the difference between chasing and attracting. That's how you go from being a man who hopes for a response to one who commands attention effortlessly. Remember, masculinity isn't about being emotionless or cold. It's about having the discipline to control your emotions and express them with intention. Epictetus' wisdom remains a guiding force here. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Your masculine energy is the key. Stop seeking validation and start embodying a purpose-driven life. When you do, everything shifts. Women respond, they open up, they lean in, not because you chased them, but because you attracted them with the quiet power of your presence. Masculine energy isn't loud, it's magnetic, and when you own it, you win. Number 7, stop being her therapist. Let's get one thing clear if you're constantly the guy she turns to for emotional support. If she's calling you in the middle of the night to cry about her ex, vent about her job, or spiral over her life choices while you sit there, listening and offering advice, you're not building attraction. You're becoming her therapist. And that's not a role that sparks desire. It might feel like connection or intimacy, but what you're really doing is emotional labor. And once you're locked into that position, it's hard to break free. Take Greg, for example. He's 47, divorced, has 2 kids, and a solid career. He meets Samantha, a sharp, fun, 34-year-old woman who's going through a rough patch after a breakup. Initially, the chemistry was undeniable. They'd flirt, joke, and enjoy that electric spark of newness. But before long, every dinner became a therapy session. She'd cry, he'd console, she'd overthink, he'd offer solutions, and gradually, the dynamic shifted. She stopped dressing up, stopped flirting, stopped seeing him as a man, and started seeing him as her emotional dumping ground. He didn't realize it until she hit him with the dreaded line, "I just need a friend right now." That's what happens when you overgive emotionally. You become the container for her chaos, instead of the dynamic, attractive man who challenges her. Attraction thrives on polarity, and when you drain that with constant emotional support, you kill it. I'm not saying don't be supportive. Support is vital, but don't mistake support for therapy. Support is grounded. It's masculine. It has boundaries. It's saying, "I hear you, but I'm not here to fix your life." It's standing firm in your energy while she works through hers, without absorbing it or trying to rescue her. Old Stoic wisdom teaches us this attraction lives in tension, not comfort. When you solve everything for her, you become predictable. When you listen without offering direction, challenge, or playfulness, you become boring. The Stoic principle here is simple. Don't explain your philosophy, live it. You don't need to talk her through her emotional turmoil. Just embody calmness, stand in your iron mind, and let her feel the contrast between her chaos and your groundedness. This not endless late-night text therapy is what draws her in. You must remember this. You're not her therapist. You're a man who lives by Stoic principles, a man who stands firm in his identity and energy. So, stop rescuing her. Instead, let your grounded presence be the magnet that pulls her closer. And if you find today's content very interesting, please give me a word of encouragement by commenting "very interesting" in the comment section. That is a huge motivation for us. Thank you. Number 8, be her escape, not her project. Here's a hard truth that many men won't admit, but it's one that will make a difference in how you approach your relationships the moment she sees you as a project. You lose her attraction. This is not about fixing things for her or being the solution to all her problems. No, Women are not looking to raise a grown man or parent their partner. They have enough on their plates already. What they want is relief. Relief from the chaos of life. Relief from the noise. They crave someone who brings ease, not more effort. If you're constantly seeking her approval, trying to win her over, proving your worth, or tweaking yourself to fit what you think she wants, you're not being her escape anymore. You're becoming another task on her to-do list. And let's be real, no one gets excited by a chore. Think about what truly feels like an escape. It's not just about your looks, it's about your presence. It's about being calm, grounded, and certain. When you walk into a room and your vibe screams, "I'm not here to impress anyone. I'm just here to be," you change the whole dynamic. You shift the energy around you, especially hers. She doesn't need more noise. She needs peace. And that's where you, with your grounded Stoic presence, come in. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoics, had a profound insight when he wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." And that's exactly what you must strive for, being a calm, unshakable presence. You are not her storm. You are her safe harbour. In a world full of chaos, this is what the modern man should be, someone who embodies the Stoic rules of calmness and inner peace. But here's where most men mess up. They think being her escape means becoming passive, soft, or so easygoing that they blend into the background. It's not about being invisible, it's about being a contrast. In a world that's loud, fast, and overstimulated, your slow, grounded presence is like a breath of fresh air. In today's dating culture, where everyone is busy chasing and performing, your restraint becomes rare. The others are trying to change themselves to please her, but you show up as a man who is already whole. You don't need to impress. You just need to exist. And when you do, that's magnetic. Now, let's address the subtle test that most men miss when she starts trying to mold you. Whether it's about how you dress, how you express yourself, or her comments about you being emotionally unavailable. Listen carefully. Beneath the noise of her critiques, she's often asking one simple question: can I trust him to stay true to himself? Or will he bend just to make me happy? If you bend every time she pushes, you'll lose her respect. And let me tell you, without respect, there's no attraction. This is not about performing or bending to her will. It's about staying true to your own values and maintaining your core strength. You don't win by trying to please her. You win by simply being who you are. Next time she brings you a problem, don't try to fix it. Hold space for her. Sometimes she doesn't want solutions. She wants presence. Next time she's stressed, don't overwhelm her with your words. Take her out. Lead her somewhere different. Change the energy. Create new space. When she feels emotionally scattered, be her anchor. Bring her into your calm. Let your Stoic presence do the work. You don't need tricks. You don't need games. You become the escape she needs, a refuge from overthinking, chaos, and stress. And when that happens, you're no longer a project she's managing. You're the one she gravitates toward, without even knowing why. When you become her escape from the noise of the world, you will have mastered the art of practical Stoicism. And that, my friend, is the true path of wisdom. You lead by simply being who you are, a man of calm, presence, and strength. Number 9. Stay in the mystery. Here's the reality. When was the last time you didn't explain yourself, didn't feel the urge to lay out every single thought, every feeling, every action in front of her? Be honest. A man who reveals everything too soon might think he's being transparent. But to her, he's simply predictable. And predictability kills attraction. It suffocates it. Attraction thrives on mystery, and mystery is the spark that keeps her thinking about you. Don't mistake this for playing games. It's about holding back just enough, leaving parts of yourself undiscovered. You want her to ask, "Who is this man really?" and wonder what's behind those eyes. That's the magic. The unknown is powerful. It draws her in. Women are emotional beings. They respond to energy, presence, and intrigue far more than explanations. When they can predict every word you say, every move you make, your value to them diminishes. The fire starts to fade. Let me remind you of something: you must control the narrative. Reveal only what's necessary. and leave the rest for her to discover. It's the art of pacing, the unknown, the unsaid, the mysteries you guard. It keeps her mind occupied with you. You keep her guessing. And guess what? She likes it. She needs it. Take Ben, for example. At 46, he was a successful, confident, and fit man. He met Sarah, a 38-year-old graphic designer, and everything seemed perfect. They had chemistry, deep conversations, and an easy connection. But within 2 weeks, Ben started sharing too much. Every text turned into a paragraph. Every detail about his day became a confession. He revealed everything: his schedule, his fears, his lunch, all of it. The result, Sarah stopped responding. She stopped because there was no mystery left. She knew everything. And with that knowledge, the attraction faded. It's that simple. You see, mystery is what keeps her wondering, what keeps her curious. Not your achievements or your plans. It's the enigma that remains. Marcus Aurelius, a master of Stoicism, said, "The soul becomes dyed with the colour of its thoughts." When you constantly seek to explain and justify yourself, you dilute your depth. You give away too much, too soon. The Stoics understood this deeply. They taught the importance of control, not just in actions, but in what you reveal. Don't let her rush through your layers. You must control the narrative. A woman doesn't need to hear every detail about your life on the third date. What captivates her is just enough for her to want more. This is where many men go wrong. They confuse vulnerability with oversharing. Vulnerability isn't about dumping every emotion on her. It's about selectively opening up, maintaining strength, and showing restraint. You let her feel your presence before she fully understands your history. That's the real power. The mystery lies in what's left unsaid, not in what's hidden. This is a crucial distinction. When you withhold, you don't just spark attraction. You protect your energy. You guard your emotions. A man who doesn't give everything away too soon is in control of his world, and that power is magnetic. It shows her that you value yourself, that you command respect, and that only those who truly earn it get access to your depth. And listen carefully if a woman ever says, "I feel like I don't really know you." Don't panic. That's not a problem. That's your advantage. It means she's still thinking about you. She's still wondering. She's leaning in. Keep her wondering. This is how you win. This is how you master the art of attraction. Stoicism teaches us that control, in all things, is power. You must embrace that. Control the narrative. Control the mystery. And in doing so, you control her curiosity and her desire to know more. This is how you win. Number 10. Let her chase the flame. Let her chase the flame. There's an ancient truth in this. Women are instinctively drawn to what they can't easily attain, not because you're aloof or cruel, but because you're fueled by a fire she didn't light. You're a man who burns with purpose, not one who smothers himself to keep someone else warm. And here's where so many men get it wrong. They become the ones chasing the flame, constantly feeding the fire to please her. In doing so, they lose the very essence of what makes them captivating. Women are not drawn to the man who exhausts himself to gain her affection. They're attracted to the one whose fire burns without her intervention. Let her chase the flame. What does this look like in real life? You stop texting first every single time. You stop rearranging your world to accommodate her every whim. You stop chasing her validation, affection, or the constant reassurance that you're on her mind. Instead, you build a life that's full of passion, purpose, and commitment to your own growth. And when you live like that, she'll see she has to find her place in it, not demand you create a space for her. This is where Stoic principles come in to live with such an iron mind that your direction and your purpose are unwavering. The flame doesn't flicker because of her. It burns because of you. Take Mark, 43, a recently divorced man who's re-entering the dating world. He meets Jessie, 35, and initially he's on fire with effort. He texts constantly, plans elaborate dates, buys little gifts to show her he's thinking of her. Yet, as his efforts grow, so does Jessie's distance. She starts pulling away, and Mark can't understand why. Isn't this what women want? Attention, effort. Here's the truth. Women don't want your attention handed to them like a participation trophy. They want to earn it. When a man shifts his focus too quickly onto her, it signals something far more unattractive: lack of purpose and lack of options. The flame must burn on its own. Remember what Seneca said: "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." Wasting your time, pouring it all into impressing her, only weakens your flame. Instead, you focus on things that matter: your work, your fitness, your friendships, your routines. These things fuel your fire, and none of them should be sacrificed just because she enters the picture. She's not the reason you wake up excited. She's the bonus. And when she senses that, when she feels that you're not living for her, but for yourself, it draws her in like moth to flame. Women are attracted to men who are rooted in their own purpose, in their own path. When your direction isn't contingent on her approval, that's when the real magic happens. But let's be clear, this isn't about playing games or being indifferent. It's about mastering your own energy and setting clear boundaries. You engage with her, but with intention. You lead, but without compromising your own direction. And this balance is where the Stoic mind proves invaluable. Stoic principles teach you to control yourself and live aligned with your core values. When you're unshaken by the need for external validation, you radiate a powerful energy. It's a magnetism that doesn't require begging for attention. It simply burns. The right woman will feel that heat and be drawn to you. When she sees you locked into your purpose, focused on your goals, present and centered in your own life, unshaken, unmoved, her curiosity ignites. The chase begins. She wonders, what is it about this man? Why isn't he chasing me? Why do I feel so drawn to him? This is controlled uncertainty, your secret weapon. Women are intrigued by men who are warm but not needy, present but not overly invested, grounded but not predictable. And in that tension, she feels alive. She feels the mystery, the pull, the chase. So, remember this when you are the fire. You don't need to beg to be seen. The flame burns on its own, drawing those who are worthy of it. Let her chase the flame. When you live with an iron mind and embrace the Stoic principles of self-mastery, you'll stop performing for anyone's attention. You'll live for yourself. And in doing so, you'll become unforgettable. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to hit that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more insightful content. I'd love to hear what you think. If you have any feedback, thoughts, or want to dive deeper into the topic, feel free to drop a comment below. Let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, stay wise and take care.